I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Peddling Fiction Podcast. I'm your host, the voice and soul of so-called fiction, Johnny Profita. And back with me, hopefully for the full episode today, it's Justin Hillbilly Boy Campbell.
Yeah,
What's happening over there?
Sorry about that. I had completely forgotten, and then I got a notification start going off on my phone that said leave. I was like, oh fuck, that's right. I totally see. This is why I have to have notifications for this stuff, because I don't go to the doctor ever. Like prior to this year and getting, having all this shit going on, I've never gone to the doctor for anything ever. Like I broke my ankle 4 years ago or something and went to the doctor for that. And that was against my will. Like Stephanie literally drugged me there. I was doing a basketball league at the time, and my team was in first place in the league, and we were going to make the championship game. And the championship game was in like 3 weeks. And I was like, I'm not fucking missing. I'm not missing the championship game. And so she drags me to the doctor. He's like, yeah, you're going to be off of it for 2 or 3 weeks. I said, it's going to be 2 weeks. He's like, yeah, it might be longer than that. I was like, it's going to be 2 weeks because in 3 weeks is the championship game, and I'm playing in the fucking championship game. So I will be back in 2 weeks for you to do a checkup and tell me that I'm good to play, because she needs to hear that from you. Otherwise, but I'm playing either way.
And?
I played.
All right.
And we won.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, I had a similar thing with my wrist. I broke my wrist and was misdiagnosed the one time I went to a fucking doctor. Oh, it's just a bad sprain. I was like, dude, I don't go to the doctor for a fucking sprain. Like, I didn't know how to explain that to him. I was like, and so I walked around with a broken wrist for like a month and a half. And then I was like, yeah, it's not getting any better. I should probably go see like a orthopedic specialist or something. And then, yeah, it's broken. He wouldn't let me leave without putting a fucking cast on it, like immediately. So I missed the rest of that. That was like at the beginning of the summer. I missed a whole summer of 16-inch softball. The team did not do well that year. You can't lose your left fielder in softball. Left fielder leadoff. That's not going to work out. Anyway, what's going on? What's going on this week? We got a lot of shit. A lot of shit happened over the weekend, I guess.
Speaking of coming out of left field, after Kash Patel and Dan Bongino said that they saw the videos and there was nothing there, and they did the whole thing with Alex Stein and Libs of TikTok and the big binders that never materialized into anything because there was nothing there, and Trump declaring that the whole thing was just a giant Democratic hoax. There's now pressure in Congress to pass legislation to release all of the Epstein Files, and Donald Trump has changed his mind, apparently. He says, as I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein Files because we have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetuated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on Epstein, are looking at various Democrat operatives, Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, etc., and their relationship to Epstein. And the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care. All I do care about is that Republicans get back on point, which is the economy, affordability, where we're winning big, our victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in history to practically nothing, bringing down prices for the American people, delivering historic tax cuts, gaining trillions of dollars of investment into America, the rebuilding of our military, securing our border, deporting criminal illegal aliens, ending men and women's sports, stopping transgender for everyone, and so much more. Nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, and if the Democrats had anything, they would have released it before our landslide election victory. Some members of the Republican Party are being used, and we can't let that happen. Let's start talking about the Republican Party's record-setting achievements and not fall into the Epstein trap, which is actually a curse on the Democrats, not us. Make America great again.
Okay. All right. So the Democrats released a bunch of emails last week.
And we talked about that a little bit on Friday.
Yeah. What did we miss something with him going down on Bill Clinton, or where did that come from? Did that come out after we talk about it? Because I don't remember seeing that anywhere. And then Friday, I start to see all these fucking memes about him and Bill Clinton, and I'm like, what? That was not in the fucking emails that I read. Well, granted, I didn't read all the emails. I read articles about the emails.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember us.
I think it was like an email about like a rumor or something. So it wasn't. Where's Magoo when you need him?
I know. I didn't see anything. Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. That was one of the Epstein emails, but I don't know.
From who to who?
Between Jeffrey Epstein and Mark Epstein. So.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that came in like a separate, or maybe they just hadn't gotten to it by the time, because we covered it pretty early, like the day after they dumped the emails or something. Maybe they just hadn't gotten to that one. All of a sudden on Friday, it seemed like that was big news. Donald Trump didn't seem to like that. Now he wants to release everything. But there were some of the people that Trump mentioned, Larry Summers. Did you see the emails that he was in? So I think did the Republicans release emails over the weekend or something? Or these are the same? I'm so confused as to who's releasing these fucking emails.
So Magoo said there's something new that's going on with the case where some of the victims are coming forward with more stuff. And so that is opening up a lot of these emails that had previously been sealed. And so that's why we're getting, and it's basically just stuff getting leaked from whoever thinks they'll benefit from the leak, which, like we talked about on Friday, like a lot of the stuff that the Democrats were leaking showed that Epstein and Trump really didn't like each other. And like Epstein really, really hated Trump. So it kind of takes a jab at their, they were such good friends and did all this stuff together narrative. But
yeah. And then, some of this stuff seems to be kind of blowing up in the Democrats' face. If we're going to make this a Republican Democrat thing, which I don't even know why we need to do that. But this says, this is out of Zero Hedge. The latest blow to Democrats from the recent Epstein Files released by House Republicans. Former U.S. Treasury Secretary Larry Summers announced that he's stepping back from public commitments after new documents revealed he was asking for Jeffrey Epstein's advice on how to bang a female mentee behind his wife's back. and the mentee was like the daughter of some CCP official. Her name is something Min. Jin?
Yin.
Yin? Yeah. So Larry Summers was apparently supposed to be doing some stuff and in the public eye, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be taking a step back. Harvard took him off of the I guess they got rid of his office or something. He had an office there. Anyway, again, dude, I don't know. These emails, nothing really. I mean, I guess, okay, Larry Summers was trying to have an affair. It's like, okay, there wasn't an underage sex trafficking thing, right? Where's that stuff? And so, yeah, I don't know. Trump's changing his tune because he wants to take the heat off of him blowing Bill Clinton, maybe? Or did he just realize that the polling on the last time he tried to dodge this was so bad? I mean, how many people just completely gave up, who voted for Trump completely gave up after he was like, oh, this is a Democrat hoax? He keeps calling it that, by the way. It's really bad branding by Trump. It's like one of the few times Trump has misbranded something.
Yeah, this has been a big whiff for him. And, you know, like that Truth Social post said, like all of the things that he mentioned in that, those are the things he needs to be focusing on. But in completely dodging this and the way they've dodged it, the way they've been really fucking shady about the whole thing. It's like, all right, like you've lost credibility because you won't just do one of the main things that you were supposed to do. Like, what was the point of bringing out Alex Stein and Libs of TikTok and doing the whole binder thing and all of that shit if you weren't going to do anything? If you were just going to be like, oh, it's a big nothing burger, we're not even going to mess with it. It's just
that's like the if it's a nothing burger, then just release it.
Right.
Like it's just, yeah, that was so poorly, that was ridiculously poorly handled. And it's just like the worst kind of pivot I think I've seen from, like, you could say he didn't campaign on this, but it was always like there. It was always kind of in every conversation, especially the people that he was appointing to these. It's like, oh, this person's going to go after, like, they're going to go after the deep state and they're going to go after the deep state. And we're going to get to the bottom of all this stuff. And the Epstein Files was always in that conversation. So to say that this wasn't like a big reason that people were looking at Trump as like the guy that's going to kind of cut through all the Washington bullshit, drain the swamp, and release all these files, and then he just completely 180s on it and says, "Oh, that was all bullshit. It was a Democrat hoax." Like, what does that even mean? It's like, yeah, the Russia thing. Okay, the Russia hoax, that works because that was an actual hoax. That was a completely fucking fabricated thing. But this is not fabricated.
Well, and then like with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Massey both pushing for the release of the Epstein Files, and then instead of being like, yeah, let's talk about it, Trump like doubles down and starts going after them and attacking them, calling MTG a traitor and all this other shit, and like making that post about Massey remarrying. It's like, dude, you're on your like third wife, and how many times have you cheated on this one? Like, maybe like shut the fuck up about anybody's marriage ever. Just an idea. I don't know.
Yeah, might want to sit that one out. I didn't see that post. Massey's getting remarried, huh?
Yeah. Massey got remarried fairly recently, I think. But yeah, I mean, like for Trump to go after them like that, instead of just being like, okay, let's do it. And then Massey pushes for the vote to get it released. And I think the pushback against Trump with the way he was going after Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene might have been what kind of did it. Because if AIPAC taught us anything, it's that you can't go after Massey. Like he is above all of that bullshit. So trying to go after him like that is gonna be a huge loss. And I think Trump may have learned that lesson the hard way by taking these attacks to them the way he did.
Yeah, he's got a really bad sense for that, like that sort of thing. Like he's got a good sense for, like, I guess, general like national popularity kind of thing. Like he can always kind of feel for that. But when it comes to like internal, I guess it's because he's not really like Republican. It's got to be like he's just kind of saying things that he thinks the majority of people want to hear. He doesn't have, like, he's not a principled guy. And so, yeah, he'll turn on Massey and MTG. And if they were to like bend a knee to him, the next day he would come out and tell you how great they are. This is kind of the way Trump operates. But yeah, really, really bad feel for how popular Massey is, and the reason he's popular. He's not popular because he just says things that people want to hear. That will only get you as far as you keep saying the things they want to hear and you keep doing the things that you say you're going to do. It doesn't get you very far unless you, like, especially among like principled voters, like the ones that would support a Massey. Like, you're not just supporting Massey because he promised you a fucking free thing. That's not why you voted for him. Yeah. So are they going to release these files or what? What are we doing here? When's the vote?
I think the vote is supposed to be later this week, maybe. So hopefully we'll get some action on that. There's also rumors that the DOJ is opening up additional investigations into it behind the scenes, which they could use to stall the release of the files, even if Congress votes to release them. So we'll see what kind of political games get played with this. But one of the things Trump talked about in that post was focusing on the economy, getting back to the stuff that he campaigned on, and the stuff that should have been priority number one, not Israel and all this fucking bullshit, but actually doing the things he ran on and said he was going to do. And so we've seen him remove tariffs on coffee, beef, and something else. He's been
bananas.
Is that what it was? I didn't
think so. Yeah.
So removing tariffs on some of that, which is kind of an admission that the tariffs do drive prices up on those.
Yeah.
And then he's had some other stuff that he's been posting a bunch about, with making some steps towards shoring up American manufacturing, bringing prices down on stuff. He's made his promise of the $2,000 tariff rebate checks or whatever. Says they'll be coming in sometime in mid 2026. Axios and your fucking I forgot.
Yeah.
One of the articles that I saw on this was saying something like possibly March or April. So like they want to get out ahead of the midterm election swing. Like if you can get these checks out while the primary season is going on, then that could give them a little bit of a boon.
Wouldn't they? Well, don't they need like I guess I don't know how the way he says he's going to do it, or the way he's talked about it. I don't exactly understand who it's going to, because he just says like the American people, but not like the rich people.
Low and middle income is how it is.
But is it per taxpayer, or like how? So like, would you get $2,000 for each one of your kids as well?
I mean, that would be cool, but probably not. I would imagine it would be per taxpayer, which taxpayer would be the way to do it, because then you don't give it to the people who don't pay taxes. That would be.
How do they even give it to people that don't, like, how do they know how to get the money to people that don't pay taxes?
I mean, they're the ones who are on SNAP and EBT, so
Yeah, they just load it into your EBT card.
yeah.
Because like wouldn't they need like your like when you pay your taxes, you know, and you get your refund or whatever, they like have your bank account information. I always figured that's how they figured out how to give people these stimulus tax.
Fuck all that shit. I tell them cut me a check. I ain't giving them my bank account information. They can get it. They can get it if they want to. I'm not going to willingly give it to them.
They can get it. They can fucking get it. It's not hard. It's ridiculous, dude. I know I've told that story before on the show. It has been a while, but they went into my sister's bank account and overdrew it, thinking that she owed money on taxes that she didn't owe.
I mean, I keep all of my shit in a hometown privately owned bank, so I might have a layer of protection. But yeah, if they want it, they can fucking get it.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, well, wouldn't they need to wait for everybody to file? It'll have to be after April 15th or whatever, so that they have your tax information. But who knows? But that's gonna be again, dude. Just the tariff thing is. It's such a hilarious admission that I don't eat. Like the prices of beef, coffee, and bananas he wants are too high. So in order to lower them, he's going to get rid of the tariffs. So if tariffs make the price of those things go up, then and removing them makes the price go down. What about all the other tariffs, right? And then how much money have we actually taken in from all these tariffs? It's like, I mean, I hear different estimates and everything. I think if it were to go until the end of to the end of the year or something, it would be like 300 billion. I've heard 200 billion a lot thrown around. So, but it's like, what would it cost to give every taxpayer? Again, I don't know what the cutoff is for the rich. So like, anybody making less than what do they say now? 250,000, 300,000 gets a $2,000 check. I mean, that's going to be at least a couple $100 billion, right? That would be like everything that they took in from these tariffs. That won't be inflationary at all. And of course, you know, they don't have the money, so they're just going to put this stuff into people's bank accounts. And it completely defeats the purpose of what these tariffs were supposed to do, which was, people were supposed to not spend money on things from overseas, right? We want to bring manufacturing back here. Well, it's like now you're giving them money to go spend on things overseas. Like, what do you think they're going to buy with it? All this shit that's made in fucking China. We're still not making anything here. It's like. All right. And so here's $2,000. You can go, and if he keeps the tariffs in place, then it's like you can go spend this and pay more into the tariff thing. Like, this is all just so ridiculous, man. Oh, it's so ridiculous. So fucking ridiculous and inflationary, and it's not going to help the prices of anything. Okay, when was the last time? I mean, I was in the U.S. in July. So I was in Florida in July, or was that in July? Yeah. Or maybe that was June. And then I was in I was on the West Coast in July, and the prices were up there. They were up there. It's fun when I go back like every 6 months, or sometimes it's like a year later, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, that's crazy. Like an order of fucking Chinese food was like $30 from like an order of like, what was it, Mongolian beef or something was like $38 at PF Chang's. I'm like, $38 for Chinese food. That's supposed to be the cheap stuff, you know? It's like, and it's like that really gets you when it's like, oh yeah, that like just the last time I was ordering Chinese food when I lived in the US, it was probably like maybe $12 or something like that for an order of 12, 15 maybe. And when I was like, don't even get me started back in my day, well, Pop's Profito was like $8 or $7 for a fucking full dish of Chinese food. So yeah, these prices are getting out of control, and there's no effort to bring them down. Everything they do is inflationary, and everything they do is it's like, oh yeah, we're going to help you with this, but we're just going to help you like go into debt to afford it. And I know we bring that up all the time when they talk about this, but it's like they're not even talking about bringing prices down anywhere. There's no talk of that.
Well, and like, as if they didn't.
I mean, they talk about it, but there's no like actual, like they're not going to, right. They're not talking deflation in anything. They're just like, oh yeah, let's get it down to only going up 2% a year. Yeah.
Reducing inflation, not deflation, not turning this around. It's just, we want to get record levels of inflation back to normal levels of inflation.
Right. But it's like, yeah, but we're so much higher than we were before.
Right. Like you've got to start going the other way at some point. And like, obviously they didn't learn any lessons from the whole COVID fiasco, because all of those stimulus packages that they sent out, that didn't help anything. That made everything worse.
Yeah. Oh God, dude. I don't know if you remember all the modern monetary theory people that were coming out of the woodwork when they were doing that. Like, oh yeah, don't worry about this. Isn't going to be inflationary. This is like, they have these retarded monetary, modern MMT people. They're like, oh, we just owe it to ourselves, blah, blah, blah. Like this dumbass theory. And then of course, the highest record inflation within 2 years of that. And, crickets from the MMT guys. But that was like one of the first times where it's like, oh yeah, we're just giving a ton of money directly to the American consumer. Every other time it's been bailing out big companies and institutions and Wall Street. And so you see it go into stocks and housing and stuff like that. But this was like, okay, yeah, here's some walking around money, go spend it. And spend they did. And prices adjusted pretty quickly, especially with, the reduced supply because of the whole COVID, not because of COVID, because of the government's reaction to COVID. But again, there's no, like, how much would they freak out if we had a negative inflation print? If it was negative 2%, inflationary death spiral. It's like, again, I don't understand the fear of this inflation or deflation. Like, oh, Great Depression, Bobby. Like, yeah, dude, you know how good it was that prices came down during the Great Depression when nobody was working, and like, you want prices to go up in that environment,
right? Like we may not be in an active recession, but we're teetering on the brink of it, and like prices continuing to go up is not something that is going to benefit anybody. And you talked about modern monetary theory. Here's a quick little video that summarizes modern monetary theory.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I don't even think I could do it.
You're safe. Your banks are safe. There's enough cash in the financial system, and there's an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. An infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. An infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Yeah. So they just have no problem. It was like, yeah, we can just print the money. It's no big deal. And it's just like, dude, again, I don't even know how you can come up with like a theory based on it. It's just so juvenile, and it's been done with horrific results. And it literally makes no sense. And by the way, we don't just owe this debt to ourselves. There's trillions of dollars that we owe to other countries. So there's that. But yeah, I think, dude, the price issue that is what's destroying the Trump administration. But these other things certainly aren't helping him. Like The way he handled the Epstein thing, that was a disaster. This, like the inflation thing is going to just break the back of this administration. And like, yeah, he can give you a $2,000 check, but like, I think they're going to have a lot of trouble in the midterms with the way the economy is. I mean, I did see that there was like people were getting excited about the jobs data. There's like, oh, there's been a rebound in jobs. Like, yeah, they reopened the fucking government, dude. I don't even need to look at the data. It's like, yeah, a lot of government employees were not working for the last month, and now they just open it up. So great. That's not a good thing.
A bunch of them got furloughed and laid off. Now they're back to work.
Yeah, with back pay. So we just paid them for taking a month. Take a month off, and then we'll just give you a bunch more money.
For literally the largest employer in the country, our government. Like, oh, jobs numbers rebounded. Wow.
Yeah, it's retarded. The whole thing is retarded. Like the economy is in really bad shape. The inflation is just, I mean, that is just, it's got to be killing people. And then you compound that with the way they're handling some of these social issues, and it's just, this is going to be a tough midterm for the Republicans. And it would just be so refreshing to get. Can we just try a little deflation? Let's just try it. Because if you remember all these years when inflation was just above, it wasn't like crazy high, but it was over 2%. And, they had this 2% target. If you ever listen to any of the Federal Reserve people, they talk about how it's like, oh, well, we were under 2% for so long that being over 2% kind of balances it out, over the long haul, we want to have a 2% rate. So if we were at like 1.7 for all these years, now that we're at 2.3, that's fine. Balances it out. Well, we've been way over 2% for as long as I can remember. Like, when was the last time we were under 2% inflation? It's been a while.
Speaking of that, did you see the map that recently came out from Moody's where they gave their like grade of all of the 50 states and like showed the states that are currently in recession, the states that are like doing okay, and then the ones that are like teetering on the edge?
No. Do you have it?
Yeah, it's an interesting map. So like I said, this is straight up from Moody's. This is how they rate the states. And they've got 23 states that are actively in a recession. You've got 11 states that are treading water or not necessarily doing great. And then you've got 16 states that are actually growing and doing well. For those of you just listening, let's see, almost the entire East Coast is in recession. Yeah, Maine, Connecticut, Maryland, Rhode Island, Virginia, West Virginia.
Yeah. New York is teetering or treading water, I guess, and Vermont treading water. North Carolina, Florida are growing.
And then Texas, Oklahoma, Kentucky, and Indiana are also growing. Well, yeah, Louisiana. And then, there's a couple of the, southern poverty states, Mississippi and Georgia are
they ever growing?
Right. That's like, right. I don't think Mississippi demographically is capable of growing. So sorry to word that way, but I mean, that's just kind of the sad reality of that. So I lived there for 4 years, and there are two types of people in Mississippi: the people who are doing really good and the people who are doing really bad, and there is not much in between. And
I've never been.
Those two distinctions also tend to fall on other criteria as well that tend to line up with each.
And most of the Midwest in high recession risk, including Illinois and shithole Chicago, Michigan, Iowa, Minnesota. That's interesting that Wisconsin's in there growing. Wisconsin, Indiana. It's probably everybody leaving Illinois.
Well, and I was going to say, and I think Wisconsin has the benefit on that of where Illinois, Michigan, and Minnesota have all been effectively overrun by H-1B and asylum seekers and illegals. Wisconsin has more or less managed to avoid that and keep a lot of that out. So that's probably helped them quite a bit. And then like people are like, how's Montana and Wyoming and South Dakota and Iowa in like recession? It's like, well, there's not not a lot going on in any of those states. They're going to go with the flow. They're going to more go with the flow of the country. So like, if you want to look at how we're doing as a country, that's probably a pretty good indicator is how those states are doing. Cause they otherwise like, they're just kind of teetering along.
Like, what are their big, like, I don't know what they produce up there. Can you do some fracking over in those parts?
Well, and I was going to say, outside of like oil and natural gas and pipelines and stuff like that, it's like there's not really, and it's a lot of wide open spaces and ranching and stuff like that. And it's like, those don't move the needle the way other type of industry do. So,
well, is North Dakota fracking country? Is that why it's?
Yes, I think North Dakota. I think North Dakota
is growing and South Dakota is fucked.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't know.
Well, in North Dakota, what was the presidential candidate that I really liked?
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
I don't remember his name, but yeah, he is great.
He was the North Dakota governor, and he's a big oil guy. And I think North Dakota has managed to avoid a lot of the. So like South Dakota had pipelines and stuff that they got hit with injunctions and EPA stuff and a bunch of different other regulatory stuff. And I think North Dakota managed to avoid a lot of that. So where South Dakota hit roadblocks in oil production and stuff like that, North Dakota did not.
Yeah, North Dakota's third largest crude oil producing state in the nation after Texas and New Mexico.
Isn't it interesting that
has
New
2%
Mexico
of natural gas reserves?
Isn't it interesting that New Mexico, even though it has that designation of being the second largest, is also treading water and not doing great? And I think a lot of that has to do with policy of the people who are running that state. A lot of very progressive and a lot of very open bordersy type stuff that Texas has, and a lot of heavy regulation that Texas has managed to avoid. Like you can do the oil and gas and all of that stuff, but if you choke it with regulation, then you end up killing all of the productivity that it would have had towards like making your state financially stable.
Yeah, I mean, imagine being the number 2 oil producer in the U.S. and not crushing it. Like that's pretty pathetic. What's Magoo talking about here? 4th busiest port, Savannah, in the nation outside of Long Beach, LA, Long Beach, and New York. All right. Georgia's economy is constricting naturally after the exodus of Hollywood to Atlanta over the last 15 years. Is that a thing? Is Magoo joking? I can't tell.
I know that Georgia has become a large place for filming and other stuff. A lot of Hollywood producers and executives and stuff do come there for a lot of filming and stuff. So,
Walking Dead, wasn't that filmed over there?
Yeah, I think so.
A lot of it. Anyway, yeah, interesting map. Should look into that a little more. But yeah, very few. So what was the breakdown? How many were growing versus in recession or just treading water?
16 growing states, 23 actively in recession, and then 11 that are
11 are probably headed towards recession. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at the 11, you've got Vermont, New York, Ohio, New Mexico, Colorado, Nevada, California, Hawaii, and then those are the ones that are definitely heading toward recession. Nevada, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, but like Vegas is dying.
Yeah,
Vegas and California's got all kinds of budget problems and stuff. There's 3 on that list: Tennessee, Missouri, and Arkansas. That I'm kind of surprised because Arkansas does actually have a lot of fracking and stuff. Missouri as well, and then Tennessee has been getting a lot of people who have moved from California and New York, but that also could be hurting them more than helping them.
All right. Well, yeah, I would say if you're treading water right now, the odds of you going into the growth phase anytime soon are slim and none. I think we're teetering on the brink here, so that'll be an interesting map to keep up with over the next year or two. Okay, what else we got today?
Oh, well, we saw Washington State was on that recession state, and I'm sure Seattle is going to turn things around and make it all better for them with their newly elected mayor. Let us introduce you to the new mayor of Seattle. She is a socialist college dropout who's never had a job and lived off of her parents into her 40s.
She's 41. I think she just moved out she was with her parents until 40.
When she got elected.
Yeah, when she got elected.
Hey, I'm mayor. I'm moving out, Mom.
That is just, I mean, dude, it's crazy how bad her qualifications are. And I'm not a big qualification guy when it comes to like, oh, he's never done it. Like, how could he do? But like, you have to, like, he doesn't have any political experience, blah, blah, blah. I always hated that argument, but like, you have to have done something.
Right.
You've accomplished absolutely. Not only have you not accomplished anything, you've failed miserably.
I don't mind if they don't have any political experience, but this bitch has no life experience. She's lived with her parents. Like, she's our age, has never had a job, dropped out of college, and lives with her parents. Like,
what have you been doing for the last 20 years? That is just bizarre, dude. That is absolutely bizarre.
Embracing socialism, I guess. Let's hear what she has to
working
say.
out.
As a progressive and as a socialist, I believe in good governance. Our government is how we act collectively, how we accomplish the things that can only be done together. I believe that our city should be able to tackle big challenges and take on big, ambitious projects. And I believe it is a very bad thing when people begin to lose faith in the ability of their government to be responsive and effective and to deliver results for its constituents. I look forward to working alongside all of the dedicated public servants who work for the city of Seattle, not just to advance a transformative policy agenda, but to make sure that we are delivering basic services, communicating with constituents, working collaboratively with every single neighborhood around the city, and building that faith and trust in government that is so essential and yet so rare in our times.
So that was a full minute for her to say absolutely jack fucking shit.
Yeah, nothing.
She's our age, and she looks like she's a solid 10 years older than us.
Yeah, she does look old as fuck. I was thinking the exact same thing. Man, I've seen. I had some other clips of her. Let me see if I have her talking.
Oh, I got the one where she says they're not going to allow grocery chains to close their stores.
Oh, yes.
How you think that's going to work? You're just going to go tear the doors off and be like, nope, you don't get to close. Sorry.
Yeah, play that one. Food deserts.
Access to affordable, healthy food is a basic right. We cannot allow giant grocery chains to stomp all over our communities, close stores at will, and leave behind food deserts. Together we can build a Seattle where fresh food is for everyone, not just for those who can afford it. Food deserts are not natural. Corporations create them when they abandon our communities. As mayor, I'm excited to step up and with UFCW explore public option grocery stores to fill those gaps.
Okay. The idea that food deserts are not natural. They're created by corporations when they bail on the community. That could not be more than 180 degrees wrong. The natural state of everything is a food desert. Like that's how life is. Like you were just born into this thing and there was nothing there. And capitalism created these companies who were providing food. Now, why would these corporations pick up and leave food deserts behind? What was there before the corporation? It wasn't a food desert?
Right. And what's the reason why these corporations are leaving? I don't know. Chicago might give us some insight into what's been happening. You know, people raiding and looting and burning these stores. It's like, yeah, why would you stay when that's the way they're going to treat it? And she just needs to take the Brandon Johnson route and open up a bunch of government-run grocery stores for everybody in there. Yeah. Run these corporate giants off. All they care about is profit and evil capitalism.
3% fucking margins. It's like, good luck trimming the fat there. Like if you think the government's going to step in and manage a grocery store more efficient, the most efficient grocery stores in the world get like 3%, or in the country get like 3% profit. That's it.
Have you seen those videos where they ask like college students and stuff? They're like, how much profit does what's the margin of profit for these groceries? They're like, oh, 15-20%. It's like, no, 3% on like a really good
3%. Yeah, they make it up on volume.
Most of them, it's 1 to 1.5. Like if you're pulling a 1.5% margin, you're staying afloat. Like if you're pulling 3% margins, you're fucking killing it.
Yeah. So, and again, dude, this idea of good healthy food is a basic human right. No, it's not. Like that's not how rights work. This is just, how are you even going to have a fucking country when people, like more than half the people don't understand what a right is? How are you going to enforce that right? Or not enforce it, exercise it. How are you going to exercise the basic human right that you should just have healthy food showered upon you? You can't. You would literally have to violate somebody else's right to provide you with that food. This idea, like the only right, you had that Facebook post, and I was like, negative rights are the only rights. Any positive right is a violation of somebody else's natural rights, because ultimately you're going to have to force somebody to provide it if they don't want to. And if you can't exercise this natural, like if I just put you on an island, the island's a great example. It works for monetary policy. It works for all these retarded socialist ideas. If you were just stuck on, you're on Gilligan's Island. Okay. How's your basic human right to healthcare and food and housing? How's that all working out for you? If you're just alone on an island, can you exercise any of those rights? No. I mean, like, sure, you can go forage for some food. We'll allow you to do that. But no, like the food's not just going to walk up and fall on your doorstep. Well, you don't even have a doorstep because you're just stuck on an island. Where are you going to get your house from? This is all just retarded. Like this is like, I feel like I wouldn't have even believed this crap when I was like 6 or 7 years old. This is nonsense. And these are children. These are like 10-year-old kids that are like stuck in adult bodies, and they just believe all this crap, dude. It's crazy. 40 years old, never done anything. I wonder what kind of job if she's ever even had a job. How do your parents let you just live with them for 20 years? It's crazy.
One of the posts said she's never had a job. I don't think she actually understands how the world works, like at all either.
I think that sorry, I lost my train of thought. The other thing is that, the housing crisis is such a big fundamental part of why businesses are struggling as well. It's part of what contributes to high labor costs, right? So we have a high minimum wage, and that's partly because housing costs are so high, and we have that cost of living adjustment every year with the minimum wage. And so the more we can do to make it possible for workers to live in the neighborhoods where they work instead of commuting in long distances, the easier it will be for restaurants and small businesses to hire and retain good staff.
To quote President Trump, I don't know what she just said, and I don't think she knows either.
Yeah, I didn't follow any of that.
The reason that housing costs are so high is because we have such a high minimum wage, but we have to have a high minimum wage because we have such high housing costs, and we need to find ways to get the workers living in a house near where they work so that they're not having to commute, because the commute is also adding to the costs. And what?
And she probably wants to raise I'm sure she's for raising the minimum wage, right?
I'm sure.
I mean, I've never met a socialist that didn't want to raise the minimum wage. I mean, I've never met a socialist that didn't support the most ridiculous economic policies ever, and the minimum wage is one of the dumbest.
Oh, and if we can make it easier for these people to commute to work, then that'll make it easier for the mom and pop stores and the restaurants to hire people. Except that the minimum wage in Seattle in 2025 is $20.76 an hour.
Yeah, dude. Good luck. Good luck, Seattle. I mean, that's who's in charge. Like, I don't know. This is going to be an unmitigated disaster. I don't even know how there's nothing even really appealing about. Like, she doesn't even do the right socialist messaging. I haven't heard her say anything that, like, usually when you hear like a Mamdani speak, like, you can understand why that's appealing to ignorant young people. And Mamdani's like, you know, he's a decent enough looking guy, whatever. Like, she's just, I don't know, dude, the way she's dressed, like her clothes, she looks weird. She looks old, weird, uncharismatic, and has really bad messaging. How the fuck did she get elected?
Right. Like, and like the Mamdani experiment in New York, that's already almost dead out of the gate, because Kathy Hochul was not going to let him do anything that he's talking about wanting to do. Like, he'll be able to get away with some stuff, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that she's already like, nah, we don't do that here. Like, that's not going to fly. But I don't think Washington State is going to stop her from doing whatever the fuck she wants, and that could be devastating.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I know I have a sister who lives in Oregon who's been looking to move to Washington to get out from under the excessive Oregon taxes, which is interesting. Imagine moving from Oregon to Washington to avoid taxes. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's not looking like such a great move at the moment. Dude, that is just, like, if you just put your political leanings aside and you just look objectively at her as somebody you want in charge of anything, I can't imagine. It boggles the mind that is something that's going to be in charge of a major city in the United States. That is crazy, and it is not going to work out well. And they're already in recession, so like you said, good luck turning that around with whatever the hell she was just talking about. Sounds like she's got it all figured out. God, dude. Oh man, naive voters are going to have plenty of time to repent. That is for sure.
And she's like pushing socialism and stuff, and we were talking about her appearance. She's kind of got that sharp, kind of ratty nose. Got a little bit of a Jewy look to her. Speaking of the chicks who are in charge of stuff with a Jewy look to them, you are not in Mexico City, but Mexico City is having all kinds of fun with their Jewish.
Yeah, I do have a buddy over there.
The Jewish president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum's reign of terror is coming to an end. The anti-cartel rebellion was she had like walls put up around the presidential palace, and they went after it.
Yeah, that's got to be if she's in there. politician's worst nightmare is when the mob's knocking on your doorstep. Puta Judia. Yeah, they're not too happy with her. I know I've seen there was that clip going around of her saying like it was unconstitutional to go after the cartels, which like I understood the point that she was trying to make, but she was talking about like, just basically doing what Trump's been doing to the cartel guys in like in the Gulf of America. We're just blowing them up with no due process. But it's like, yeah, that message is just, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough message for the people to take when they're the ones suffering at the hands of these cartel guys. But I don't hear a lot of, I don't know, dude. I just don't hear a lot of political talk from Mexicans around here, but I am kind of isolated. So I don't exactly know what the vibe is, but Mexico City they're going through some stuff over there too. There's a lot of backlash against all the gringos moving there, and apparently backlash against the Jewish lady in charge of Mexico. How long has her reign of terror been? It's only been like a year, right?
Not even a year, I don't think. Yeah, here they're talking about going after the cartels.
Regresar a la guerra contra el narco no es opción. No es opción. Primero, porque está fuera del marco de la ley. Todos estos de la derecha que se llenan la boca de las palabras Estado de Derecho y defienden la guerra contra el narco. La guerra contra el narco está fuera de la ley porque, como lo dije o lo he dicho en varias ocasiones, es permiso para matar, sin ningún juicio. Y eso en México nadie o muy poquitos están de acuerdo. Está fuera del marco de la ley. Y segundo, no sirvió de nada más que para aumentar los homicidios en México y el nivel de violencia. Entonces, estos llamados autoritarios, porque son autoritarios, es ir hacia el fascismo.
Yeah, so fighting against the cartels is taking us towards fascism.
Yeah, right. And the other things that you were saying is like, yeah, it's not in the framework of our law. We can't just go after people without trial, and this will just add to the violence and the homicides in Mexico. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can't fight the cartel without increasing the homicides. But if you guys remember when we did talk about some of the Mexican like there was like a ridiculous number of political candidates that were assassinated that left her the last one stay. It was like 30 something. What was the number? It was crazy.
37 total. Although there have been fact check articles that have said they weren't all presidential candidates, and a lot of them were candidates in lower government positions who also were opposed to the cartel, that wanted to crack down on the cartels and try to get out from under their thumb on a lot of stuff. So
so it kind of makes sense that she was the one that was left standing and now doesn't want to go after the cartel. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it goes for Shannon. I'm actually going to try to follow. I don't really follow the politics out here either. Like, I don't know. Don't really care. But I'll keep an eye on that story. See if I can dig up any inside information from my contacts over in Mexico City. Yeah, there's, again, it's like, it's just one more, like the economy in Mexico City, like they've been experiencing, I mean, everywhere has been experiencing a lot of price inflation too. So, and they tend to blame that on all the gentrification from the gringos, but it's like, yeah, when these things start to pile up, like you can't afford stuff, and then you're not gonna go after the cartel, like the people are gonna get pretty angry pretty quickly. The prices here, Mexico, I mean, I'm sure there are some very cheap areas in Mexico, you probably don't want to be there. Any place you want to be in Mexico, the prices are getting pretty high. Yeah, I'm renting a place starting next year, and it's like it'll be $1,800 US a month for like a decent, and it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, but that's only because like they don't really have like a lot of 1-bedroom places. I don't really need the extra bedroom, but like yeah, I mean, I don't know what's a decent like 2-bedroom rental go for in most of the United States. I'm not like on the beach or anything. This is just like, you know, in a neighborhood.
Around here, I know some of them, they go for like $750, $800 a month. Some are up to up to $1,200 a month.
Yeah. I mean, I think a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in Chicago would probably run you at over $2,000 in a lot of the neighborhoods, but I'm sure you could find a decent rental for $1,800 a month somewhere. You know, just to give you a little perspective there. And well, Mexico is we'll see. I don't know. I still think the country's on like an upswing, but yeah, Scheinbaum. That is just such a weird thing to have a Jew in charge of. Yeah. Oh, here's Magoo. Here we go. $1,500 to $2,500 a month here. Okay. And you don't want to live in the 1,500. Yeah. You could get. So yeah, here in PV, you could get if you're signing like the one thing is like I have to sign like these short-term leases, so they jack the price up on you. For $1,500, you can get a decent place if you're signing a year lease. But yeah, if you want like a nicer place, it's gonna be $2,000 plus.
Well, like I said, like with around here, $800 a month is out here in the sticks. Like if you go to Evansville, it's going to be $1,200 a month.
Yeah. But I think, you know, like I see some of these people that come down to Mexico. It's like, oh yeah, like I'm thinking about renting a place. My budget's like $800 a month. It's like, yeah, not that. Those days are gone. 5 years ago, you could get like a sick place for $800-900 a month. At one point, I knew somebody that was renting for $500 a month, and it's like a nice sized place with a great balcony downtown overlooking the bay. Dude, you don't want to live in anything that costs less than $1,200-1,300 a month here. And then the nicer places are going for $2,300. The place I live in now would be over $5,000 a month easy.
But then when you hear about these people in like New York and California that are paying $3,000 and $4,000 a month for like a 1-bedroom apartment, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like a shoebox. Yeah. New York is very unaffordable. It's not going to get more affordable with Mamdani. Hate to break it to you, but yeah, the prices here are like, you're not going to like, I guess only if you like lived here for the last like 5 years, you recognize it. Like you come from the US here, you're like, oh, like things are so cheap. They're not that much cheaper than the US. Like what's a shot of tequila cost you? Here it's, you know, it starts at about $10.
That's probably not much cheaper than here.
Yeah. Like you'll go out cocktail, you know, run you between 10 and 15, sometimes 20. It depends on like how nice of a place you go to, but it's like, you know, gone are the days where you're just like not even you just post up at a fucking bar or something and you have like 10 drinks and you don't even notice it. It's like, no, you're gonna notice that pretty quick. And by the way, all the tequila in the world is made in this state. That's like Saudis paying $6 a barrel or $6 a gallon for gasoline. You know, it's like, this is where all the tequila is made, in this fucking state. And it's like the cheapest tequila is like the shit is going to be fucking $10 a shot. Come on, man. But anyway, can we get through a couple? What else we got? Shithole Chicago. Speaking of,
I was gonna say, speaking of the price of,
you got the song? Cue the song.
Speaking of the price of stuff.
Walking down the street, shithole Chicago, where the wind is cold and the people are low. Broken down buildings, ain't no place to go. But the music keeps playing in shithole Chicago.
All right. So this is from Wall Street Apes a couple nights ago. Tonight, Chicago residents are having a property tax bonfire after they received their new property tax bills that have increased significantly. Some residents are reporting their bills have increased $977 from last year. Democrats again increased property taxes due to budget shortfalls. Residents complain of rising assessments. They say despite property tax increases, there's no notable improvements being made to the city.
Well, people have gathered here tonight at Harmony Community Church here in Lawndale as they're trying to light the way to fairness with this bonfire and discussion tonight. Many homeowners across Chicago receiving a hefty property tax increase in the mail, and they're all wondering where that money is going.
How can you maintain your home if your taxes are constantly going up?
Homeowners in Lawndale are searching for answers together tonight about their property tax hikes. Community leaders partnered with the Lawndale Christian Development Corporation to host this bonfire, allowing neighbors to discuss their options. One man says he received a bill this week that was $977 more than what he paid last year.
Tax increase is tied to a TIF that I have no idea why. Ogden Pulaski TIF is collecting money from our neighbors in our streets, but we're not being notified for what or why it's in the bill.
The group discussed a number of solutions for the issue, including an effort to propose new policy, which would be modeled after California's Prop 13. That would limit property taxes to 1% of assessed value, with annual increases capped at 2%. Homeowners are also frustrated because they feel like they're not seeing the tax hikes lead to notable investment in their neighborhoods.
There's been a divestment in this community for the most part, but it seems like now that people have found an interest in reclaiming the neighborhood, now it's like we're being taxed for prosperity.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas also spoke earlier today on the tax bills while at a Rainbow Push event. She says there are new avenues for homeowners to pay these bills at their own pace.
You do not have to pay your bill on December 15th. Did you hear that? You don't have to pay it. Let me tell you why. We went to Springfield last year and set up a payment plan.
Pappas says you could go online on December 16th and find payment plans for up to 13 months. That's welcome news to these homeowners, but they still want some clarity on those tax hikes.
We understand utilities are going up and things of that nature, but it's a valuation issue. Like we don't have schools we need, those economics that aren't here, but we're being charged to pay for economics in other people's communities.
Now, some people here tell us they haven't even received their property tax bills yet, but we are told that those are going out around Chicago throughout this week.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just my feed, but I've been inundated with people posting their I have a property tax bill here. 2020 tax year 2023 was about 13,952. 2024 19,328.
Jesus.
Yeah, like did that guy that was like, oh, mine went up by $977. His bill last year was probably like $2,000 or so. So it's like it's not that much money, but it's a huge percentage, right? Yeah, some of these are going up by 20, 30%. Like they did that to me, dude. Right before I fucking moved out, mine went up like $3,000 or $4,000. It went from like 6 something to 9. And I was like, all right, I'm done. Thankfully, I'm out of here. But So the other great thing about these property tax bills, I don't know if I have an image of it or not, but they actually list like, you know, what they're trying to fund with the property tax bills. And this is where it gets really fucking good, because the first line item on those property tax bills is, you guessed it, the fucking pensions for the Chicago public schools. The Chicago Teachers Union. I have never seen so many fucking like they are doing fucking damage control like crazy. I don't know if they voted on this budget yet. They call it the Protect Chicago budget or some stupid fucking name like that, where all these increase, that's where the head tax is for the companies for each employee, and these a lot of these other property tax increases. So the Chicago teachers pension, I don't know exactly how underfunded it is, but it was like 40% funded at one point when I was there. Like they were way, way, way underfunded. And I talked about on Friday how they just got busted spending almost $8 million on travel to Vegas and fucking Egypt. And they've got property in New Mexico. They've got some fucking compound, like just all this ridiculous shit that they're spending money on. And of course, we've documented well how they're not really performing up to any standard with the Chicago public school systems, and yet they keep striking and demanding more money. And this is so they've been coming out. Did your property tax bill go up? Billionaires are paying less taxes for skyscrapers downtown, while tax increases are hitting our neighborhoods. City council can make ultra wealthy corporations pay instead of raising our taxes and cutting services. Tell your aldermen, vote yes on Protect Chicago budget. Like, this is their message. Like, oh yeah, they shouldn't be taxing you. They should be taxing the rich. These motherfuckers, they're like 90% of the reason why these tax increases exist is to fund their bloated fucking pensions. A lot of balls on that fucking Chicago Teachers Union. A lot of fucking ball. And they're probably just getting eviscerated in the comments if I went through this. Yeah.
I was looking at my tax bill for 2 houses, this garage, a big shop, and about 4 acres. Total is $1,400 a year.
Yeah, that's dude. So the Chicago public schools in 2021, the travel spending was 0.3 million. Okay. 2022, 3.4 million. 2023, 6.9 million. 2024, 7.7 million. Chicago public schools travel. Like, what? I know I went over, but this is just fucking insane, man. This is absolutely insane. And yeah, the amount of people that are getting fed up. I don't know why you're still in. I mean, how could you not see this writing on the wall back in like 2020, 2021, 2022? I mean, they've been raising property taxes every fucking year. Some of these increases, though, have been ridiculous. And also in that new budget, that the Protect Chicago budget, the retail food license inspection fees increased by 100%. They're going to tax you if you have each employee you're supposed to pay a tax for. Your licensing fees are going up by 100%. Your property taxes are going up by 20%. Like, they're literally doing everything they can other than cut spending. And there's plenty of fucking spending to cut. There was one of, he also spent, it was something like $2 billion. Do I have that? Maybe I flagged it. I want to say $2 billion on healthcare services for illegal immigrants.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Let's see if I have it here. No. No, that's the vote. No, I can't. Maybe I can't. Yes. $2 billion in healthcare for illegals. There's a chart here. I can share this. Let's see. Look at how efficient I'm getting with this. Boom. All right. Illinois spending from 40 to 80 million a month on healthcare for illegal immigrants. Yeah. So I mean, like, there's money. There's cutting that they can do, but they're not, again, just like every other government entity. It's never even in the conversation. And they give you this false dichotomy. It's like, well, they shouldn't be taxing you. They should be taxing the rich. No, they should be cutting everything. You should be cutting all kinds of government bullshit before, like, raising taxes should be the last thing that they do. And yet it's always they just keep going back to it. It's always what they go to. And they try to make, oh yeah, it's about the children. Oh, dude, the teachers union and I noticed that bitch that's in charge of the teachers union, her property taxes almost went up nothing. It went up by like $130 or something. Yeah, imagine that. You motherfuckers. Oh, so glad I'm not there anymore. So fucking glad I'm not there. Okay. Maybe another minute or two. Should we go through some charts? Market's about to close.
If you want to. I don't know. We're running a little long.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I'll do it some other time. Yeah, I'll do a separate thing for that. I don't know if anybody even enjoys that. Do we get any feedback?
I get something out of it whenever you do it, but I know there are others who enjoy that and listen to it.
Yeah, maybe I'll just do a separate thing. Separate little market recap. But I think I accurately predicted what Bitcoin was going to do over the next couple of days. So I posted some of that stuff in the Facebook group too, if you're looking for an update.
I was going to say there's posts on that on the private Facebook group. If you're not in it, just find one of us and get in it. It's not that hard to find. Just type in peddling fiction on Facebook and you can find it. I'll let you know. I mean, you have to answer the questions, but it's not like the questions are hard to answer.
No, there's three easy questions there.
But if you don't answer them, I will not let you in. So
yeah, it's a pretty low bar. It's a pretty low bar. So yeah, I posted some updates there. I'll probably do a standalone thing for the Substack or something, going through some charts if that interests anybody. I always post a link to the Substack subscription as well. You got anything else going on this week?
I'm going to do two different things on Thursday of my own show. There's an article from The Atlantic about what was it? Why do rich people like quiet? And another one about why are women leaving the dating scene?
Interesting.
Yeah, they are both interesting reads. So I'm gonna do. I was supposed to do the why do rich people love quiet last week, and I had stuff going on with Katie and didn't have a chance to sit down and do it. So I'm gonna do a twofer on Thursday and cover both of those.
Right on. Okay, and then we'll do a Friday show, regularly scheduled. And is it happy hour Friday too?
I think it is, and I'm off work on Friday. So
all right, we'll do a happy hour as well for the supporting listeners of the show. Again, I'll link to that in the description if that interests you. And until then, you guys know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Peace.